Welcome to the Power of Lifting podcast. I'm Eric Cafferty, owner of the Mecca Gym. I am a strength and conditioning coach and a contest prep specialist. The focus of this podcast is to dive into the mindset and the drive of people who have done incredible things with their lives. All right, welcome everybody. We are on.
Welcome.
How are we all doing today? How are we doing, Hunter?
Oh, I'm doing actually really well comparatively.
I like the new hat.
Thank you. I like your new hat too.
We are wearing the same hat. Look
We
at
are.
that.
I switched on purpose.
Spicy. Yeah. So we got some hot new items dropping soon.
Yes.
Designed by the one and only Zach Polkinen, Mr. Fashion of the Mecca himself.
Stepped into that role and just is crushing it.
Yeah, getting our apparel looking all snazzy. So we got new hats, we got new shirts,
New
got a lot of
sweatshirts.
new stuff coming. Yep, new sweatshirts. We got some ladies competition robes getting made.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, we got it all
Well, it's
coming.
good because show season is upon us.
Yep. So check out the Mecca shop when you come by the gym, or hit us up on themeccagym.com and check it out.
That's right.
We're on episode 49.
49.
It's been a fun run. We're gonna keep trucking, buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we've been a little bit lax through the move. We've done a kind of re-intro episode, talked about the move a little bit. We had my good buddy Paulie Campbell on.
What an honor. What a good man.
Good fellow bearded man. And
right.
Now we're here, bigger and better than ever.
That's right. And for those watching, anybody step on over to YouTube if you're not on there currently and look at this table.
Look at this table. So yesterday we took delivery of our permanent conference room table that is also our podcast table. We've got the camera down at the end of the table.
Yep.
And this thing is unbelievably spectacular.
No, it really is.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Check out this episode on the YouTubes. And it's a work of art.
It really is. Are you happy? Like, you obviously are happy, but did you expect
pumped.
it to turn out this way?
This is exactly what I was hoping for. I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so we nailed it.
Yeah, he nailed it. We talked a lot about the design, and about getting the right wood, the right color, the right size.
Oh, we went real detailed.
Yeah, and the right bases even. So we'll take some, once we get this room organized a little bit more, we'll take some glam shots of it.
That's right.
Got to get some more conference room chairs and all that business, and finish getting our conference room totally set up the way we want it. But it's a process. We'll get there. But man, this table turned out just absolutely gorgeous.
Well, I was thinking about it today. I felt like the meeting we had earlier today was one of our most productive, and I feel like it's partly because of this table.
It's the table, man.
It really
it's
is.
just, so, we'll go into this a little bit because this is kind of it's really a big deal to me,
Yeah. Let's go into it now.
I've always seen those like river tables online.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always loved just the art, kind of, woodworking, but specifically like these just giant, gorgeous tables,
Right.
That are such a centerpiece. For whatever reason, I've just been drawn to them over the last several years. And, I've always seen them, and I've had a couple of friends that have, really quite successful businesses, and they have, cool offices. And not just cool offices, but functional offices. They've got, space for their employees to come and work, and they have a nice conference room to have meetings and things like that. And that's just something we didn't have at the other gym. We just didn't have the space for it,
Mm-hmm.
And so moving here, I came and saw this big room that we're, doing the podcast in, and, it kind of serves as an office for some of us, and it serves as, we've got some cool things going on in here. We've got a big, you can't see it, but up there.
You might be able to see the bottom of it.
Yep. We've got a massive, it's like how many feet do you think that is?
Oh, jeepers.
It's like
15, 20?
Yeah, it's a massive, massive movie theater screen up there, and we've got a projector and surround sound, and we've got our own movie theater in here.
It's what it is.
It is, yeah. It was badass. It was built to be cardio cinema for Golds when they opened, and then it's just still here. So we had to buy a new projector, but everything else besides a couple of speakers were in working order. So that's definitely a cool perk to the space. But back to the table, I mean, I've just loved these real wood tables that are just custom made, and they're just beautiful. They're just such a centerpiece, and they make such a statement. And this table makes a freaking statement, you know what I mean? It's gorgeous. So it's actually locally sourced. It's from a golf course in Nampa, actually. They cut down a bunch of trees at. Yeah, I can't remember the name of the golf course, but so it's actually 2 center cut slabs that they cut straight on one side and then flipped it into mirror images of each other. And then we kept the live edge, as you can probably see some of.
Or the back.
Got this notch right here. Yeah. And then they actually CNC'd the Mecca logo into the center of the wood here. And then you have to clear coat it so it doesn't bleed, and then pour, we did black epoxy on here, and then they resand. And then it's actually this is a natural wood finish. So this is mostly, just the natural wood color. It's just like a mineral oil kind of.
This ain't no sticker.
No, this ain't a sticker, and this isn't a stain or anything. This is just the natural, color. It's elm.
Yeah.
And it is beautiful.
And it smells fantastic every time you walk in.
It does. It smells like wood in here.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
It makes you feel, I think it increases testosterone levels, actually.
Oh, it does. There's no doubt about that.
So yeah, we love the table. Huge shout out to my boy Alex Jangard. He is an absolute craftsman. And I've been telling people lately, about some of the things in this new gym that are my favorite things, and that is the art that is in this building is just absolutely unmatched at any other facility.
Yes.
And I guess that's not really a huge deal, for member experience necessarily, because you don't really, it's not anything that's super functional. It's functional for us,
right?
Kind of decorative, but it just makes this place very special. I
think it adds to that culture.
It does. Yeah, we're in here sculpting our bodies and working on our health and fitness and all that, and we have some spectacular art pieces. Jason with Hill Photography did an outstanding job helping us take some photos, our stock photos for the walls.
Yes, the stock photos of our own people, which is special.
Yeah, it's everybody on that wall is part of Mecca culture.
Yep.
So there's how many did we get, Hunter? 20?
Yes. Yep, it's like just under 20, about 18.
Yeah, about 18 photos that are big 6x4 photos that we have up on the wall out there, super clean, very, very, artistic.
Yeah, the black and white.
The black and white really
brings
goes.
Out the personality.
Yeah, really goes with our theme, our color scheme, and then as well as the system that we're using to secure our front desk at night.
Yes,
that's something that was a real, I guess, struggle, not necessarily struggle, but it was a real problem coming into this place because we want to be a 24-hour facility. We have to be a 24-hour facility.
It's a big deal for a lot of people.
Yep, it's a big deal for a lot of people, and it's a big deal to us to be able to offer that to people, to be able to get into our doors and work out anytime, day or night. We're never closed.
Right.
And so we had to make that possible. And so we had to figure out a way to close off that front desk area. And a client of mine who has done construction for a lot of years kind of helped me dream up a way to close that front area off. And so we contracted with a company called Excalibur Metalworks. They're out of Nampa.
Which just sounds badass.
Yeah, and those guys were, they're just true craftsmen. They are insanely skilled with metalwork. They do a lot of custom fab for houses and very artistically laid out metalwork. Whether it's, a track for a door to roll on, or, a handrail for a staircase, or a mantle, or, anything you can think of that you want to make out of, raw metal. Those guys are just absolute artists,
Well, that thing out there it's a piece of art. Like, it may be a gate system, but that's impressive.
It is.
Just pure customization.
Yep. The fact they came in, they measured about 6 times.
Good for them.
Fabbed it off site, brought it in, put it together, installed it in a day.
Which is huge.
And they included things like our plates for counterbalances.
Yeah.
And it's
the Mecca Barbell Flag, right?
Yep. They used their custom CNC machine. It's not a CNC, it's actually a plasma cutter.
Ooh.
Which normally plasma cutters don't cut out things as precise as that is, and you can look at the detail on it. It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
And it's our Barbell Flag logo, which you can see back there.
Oh, right.
And it is just crisp.
Yeah, it is.
On that sheet of steel.
It fits perfectly. It's not like it's something that obnoxiously stands out differently or you can't notice, but it's just perfectly laid in there.
Yeah, it's very intentional. Just a gorgeous piece, So those two things out in the main area, and now to the table, which is just an absolute, piece of art. That it's definitely serves as a symbol, and it is, awesome. It is ours.
It is. That's what's special about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't just say the Mecca Gym on here. This is the symbol of what you've been building for the last 6.5, 7 years.
So anyway,
crazy.
There we are.
There you are. Obviously, we want you all to come and see this stuff. So if you haven't yet, please do.
Yeah. Come take a look. We'd love to give anybody a tour of the facility. Come check it out. And I think since we filmed our last podcast, we actually got a couple more orders of equipment.
We have. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So speaking of art, we got about 12 pieces from a company called New Tech out of South Korea that was a real battle to get over here.
Yes,
with
you fought hard for
the
those.
International shipping crisis we got going on. So finally got that stuff in. We've got a rear delt fly that you can use for rear delts, side raises, things like that. Then we've got an actual lateral raise machine that's supported, basically put the load on your forearms essentially.
Yep.
And where you're in a seated position. And then we've got a shoulder press that's just money. The motion of that.
Hits. I love just the little bit of.
Yep. The right amount of angle.
Yep.
Very adjustable. All these pieces are very adjustable to where you want to hit and different body sizes
and all plate
shapes.
Loaded.
Yep. Plate
which
loaded.
I didn't realize how much I love.
Yeah. Which you can. So that means you can load or unload it as far as you need.
Yep.
So we've got 2 different varieties of a chest press. We've got a converging. They actually both kind of converge a little bit. One's more of a decline angle, more suited like a bench press. The other one, your hands are, more in almost a vertical position, almost a neutral grip, just a slight angle on that. That's a good flat, converging chest press. That's one of my favorites. And then we got a chest fly machine that's just.
I'm obsessed with that chest fly machine.
That chest fly machine is just absolute money.
I haven't felt so much work right in the center.
Yeah,
right next to the sternum there.
It's like it just lights up those pecs big time with a good stretch,
Yes.
And then we've got a low row machine, which really puts you in the perfect position for like a dumbbell row type of motion, and then a mid row that's just feels great, and then a super unique lat pull down machine that kind of scissors and puts more tension as you come down.
It's like X shaped.
Yep.
It's
like the X-wing. Yeah.
X-wing,
and it's And as you come down, it's impossible to cheat because you can't lean back and change the motion. It's just directly vertical. And then we also got they call it the front row, but it's kind of a high row where you can do a supinated grip or a neutral grip.
Yep. I like that one too a lot.
Yep. Very cool. And the hammer strength has a machine that's, similar, but the difference with this one is it holds you in because there's a pad that's actually angled back. So that one's actually chest supported. And then we got a machine that actually Chris and I used today called the V squat, and it's hammer strength again, has a similar machine, but this one is a little bit better. The motion on it, it's just really smooth. The platform's set up well. You've got the pivot point is further away from you, so it's kind of a longer lever, which makes for a really smooth motion where you can do a squatting motion, or almost more of a hack squatting motion. You can face either into it or away from it, and I've really enjoyed doing modifying it a little bit with some plates underneath the heels.
Yeah, you gave me a good instructional thing
yesterday.
Did you do the same thing with
Tuesday.
Chris today?
Yeah. So I showed Chris that one today, and we just both almost yacked after that. It's kind of like a front squat, but the way it's set up, you can really support your torso and your back and really just put all the tension in your legs.
Right.
Which is it's key. Especially, I actually have somewhat of a back injury right now. I partially tore my longissimus on my right side. So that's nice to be able to push load still and, be able to move some load with, safety, right?
Yes. Right.
And then we got one for the ladies, the glute extension.
The glute extension. Hey, I'm taking it too.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's kind of puts you in that frog position, kind of prone, where it's a really smooth kickback. The thing about that machine that's great is because of the way your torso and lower abdomen is supported and the motion of the plate that you kick out, you actually can't hyperextend your lumbar spine, which most people really have an issue with doing kickbacks. And so that just puts all the load right on your glutes, and it's been money, especially hook the newbie up and go to town with that guy. It's great.
And you could do 2 legs at once with the way that it's set up too.
You can do 2 legs, you can do unilateral, you can do 1 leg at a time. So it's spectacular. It's been a lot of fun getting people on that equipment, showing them how to use it.
Falling in love with it,
Yeah, and if anybody listening, if you want to know how to use it, come in. Most of our staff is knows how to use it well. Even the front desk staff, they're all lifters themselves. Even the management staff, Hunter here, Chelsea, they're all, they've all been playing on it, using it, getting instruction on it, and so, and all the trainers, of course. So, If anybody wants some tips, come and ask us. We'd be happy to give you the rundown on any one piece or all.
Yeah.
We also got a Monolift.
Big deal. Marlin's wet dream has come true.
Marlin's,
that's his words, by the way.
Yep. I that's his Christmas present for many Christmases. So what a Monolift is it's essentially a squat rack where the hooks that you rack the bar in actually move. So you don't actually have to walk out the bar. You can just lift up. Somebody pulls a lever and the hooks move out of the way. You squat and then you pull another lever and the hooks come back and you rack the weight. So very unique. You don't have to walk out squats with it.
Right.
That's, intended to be used with multiply or single ply or, whatever. If you have heavy knee wraps on, it makes for a unique squatting experience. I'll tell you that. But the other thing is it's just a nice rack. It's got a hydraulic on it, so you can basically adjust it to the perfect height for you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Up and down. So you don't have to it adjusts in extremely fine increments, so you can really get that bar at the perfect height.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just really cool. You know,
It really is awesome
I like
looking.
squatting on it. Even still, you know, to use it how it's intended, you have to have somebody there with you.
Right.
But I actually like it to using it just myself, and I'll still walk things out. But you just feel so free and open.
Yeah, that's right. There's not. Yeah, you're not. Don't feel caged.
Yeah, you don't feel like.
So do you
you're
need
stuck.
someone to swing them out, or do they automatically swing out, but someone needs to put them back in?
You need somebody for both.
For both. Okay. Right
Yep.
on.
And it's, you know, it's a little bit tricky, but again, you know, we're here to explain it. If anybody wants to use it, you know, they definitely can. It's just, you know, there's with anything, you know, that piece especially, you know, it can be, you know, dangerous if misused, but that's anything in the gym. So since you don't find one of those very often, there's not a lot of people that know how to use it. So yeah, come ask us. We'll give you the rundown. We also got some more benches, so we got more than enough benches for in front of the dumbbells.
Yep.
You know, both incline benches and flat benches. And then we got a decline barbell press as well.
It was just put together, I believe, today.
Yep. Good old Marlin got that thing screwed together, tightened up.
Yes.
So yeah, we're good to go on that front as well.
And there's more coming.
There is more coming. So we're still waiting on 2 big orders.
Unbelievable.
We've got equipment from Prime Fitness, and we've got equipment from Arsenal Strength coming. So,
Gosh.
So those
So
are still
much.
those are still a little ways out. You know, they haven't given me definitive dates on shipping on that stuff, but yeah, we're still expecting more. We've got a vertical leg press, got a bilateral leg press, we've got a hack squat coming, got another lateral raise machine coming, tricep extension machine coming, chest supported row coming. We've got a few like another leg extension, seated leg curl.
Okay.
We've got a preacher curl machine. There's some other stuff I can't remember, but yeah,
just a playground.
Yeah, we've got a lot, like an incline. I think we've got like an incline press, something or other, coming, chest machine. So yeah, I mean it's shaping up. We've got a lot of stuff in here right now, but we got more coming.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna be
amazing.
It you know, hard to believe, but it really is gonna get tight in here.
And no one's going to be complaining because everything is so perfect.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be tight in terms of people. It's just going to be, you know, there's going to be lots of equipment, which actually is good because that allows for more people to be here at once because there's more stuff to do.
And I think the way you've got it set up too, there's a nice flow to it too. You're not running into machine, like there's a place to go and you go and you find it. And
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we've still got plenty of space around machines. We've got you know, plenty of plates. I think we've got more 45-pound plates than any gym I've ever been in.
I believe it. I mean, I know for me that's a fact.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. So it's it's doing good, and we still got all the oldies but goodies.
Yep.
You know,
right.
So
the OG stuff.
It's like you know, gym equipment's like guns. Once you buy them, you don't sell them. You just hang on to them. You collect.
That's right. That's right. It's a collector's museum out there.
It's
Except you use everything.
Yeah, come use our collection.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. Well, Eric, with it being the 49th episode, I thought it would be fitting before we hit 50 to kind of revisit a couple of the questions we ask our guests.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then see what kind of, if anything has changed since you answered these questions on our very first episode. But anyway, obviously you name your profession. We know this. Your profession is decision maker / leg expert.
Leg training.
But I wanted to revisit the other one. What do you feel your crowning achievements are at this point in your life?
Man, you know, that's always a tough question for all of our guests to answer. And I'm no different. You know, it really depends on how you compartmentalize, you know, quote unquote, you know, achievements.
True.
You know, I think that I'll dive into a couple of personal ones, and you know, the obvious ones are you know, I've been married to my lovely wife for almost 9 years. It'll be 9 years this June.
That's awesome.
So I think in this day and age especially, that's a
really big deal.
That's an achievement, you know. And that's, you know, fingers crossed. It's, plenty more years
Plenty
after this
to come.
one, right?
Absolutely.
So that's definitely one. My kids, just having kids is definitely an achievement. Anybody that has kids knows. But, I think that I continue to be extremely proud of my kids and the things that they're doing. The world we live in is quite a bit different than the world that you and I grew up in.
Yes.
Years and years and years ago. And so, I continue to be proud of them and the things that they're doing, and, learning to read and, succeeding at things like that in school, and just, really proud of them for, their kindness to other people, to other kids, they're just really good kids. So I'm definitely proud of that. It's the little things like, took Walker on a mountain bike ride last weekend, and he absolutely crushed it, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
And, he did better than some adults I've taken on rides. And
That's
it's
awesome.
just, and as we were kind of coasting back, most of the steep hard up was over, and most of the, the steep downhill was done, and we were kind of coasting back to the car, and I'm like, "Are you having fun, buddy?" And he's like, "This is the most fun I've ever had in my life."
Oh, that's great.
And I'm like, "Oh,
Yes,
my heart is so full. Oh, I'm so happy."
Yeah.
It's like, when your kids, share your passions, I think that's really special. And I certainly haven't tried to push them into anything. I don't think that really ends well, but
Sure.
It's more so making things available to them. And, even if you secretly are manipulating them into doing things, you got to make them think it's their decision.
Right.
And, working with people in the fashion that I do, I feel like I'm fairly decent at
You've had a lot of practice.
at motivating people.
Yep.
And so, just trying to, be gently motivate them to do some things. But it's even cooler when they, when they make the decision for themselves that they really love to do something. I think
Right.
that's really cool. And, they're in here, working out. They both want to work out. Walker's doing, he did 7 pull-ups all by himself.
That video was incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But it was so fun. I mean, he's a unit of a child, but him up there on that was even more impressive to see, because he's not even halfway to the ground. He's up there.
Yeah,
Those are high pull-up racks. Yeah, he nailed it. It was incredible.
So that, and just his passion for learning and for doing things right. He's a little bit of a perfectionist. I don't know where he gets that from.
I don't know either. Sure.
But and then Logan's kind of the same way. He's just a couple years younger, so he's just not quite to those those measurable points yet, doing the big kid stuff as much yet. But so I'd say those are definitely some crowning achievements on
I would
the
say
personal
so, for
level.
sure.
From a business perspective, I think the thing that I'm most proud of now is the team that we've built here at the gym. I think that's something that should not be taken lightly. I was talking to somebody the other day about how certain people think that they say that they're like a lone wolf or something like that.
Sure.
And
That lone wolf mentality. Yeah.
that lone wolf mentality, and how that is such it's just not possible.
Yeah.
If you're a lone wolf, you're not getting things done. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're just not. And, the lone wolf is going to, probably die in solitude, unless he finds a pack, right?
Right.
It's just the way that it goes. You got to pack up, and we've talked numerous times about the people you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm definitely proud of our team. We're growing constantly.
Yeah.
Our team is thriving. I told, some people today that I'm, trying to train myself out of a job, and,
sure.
and by that, I mean, I want to pass all of my, knowledge and things that I've picked up over the years onto our training staff and our employees so that, you know, they can do their jobs the best that they can. And, you know, a lot of our coaches now train some of my past clients, you know, whether I've given them to them or they've taken a break and they thought, hey, I'm going to get started again and start with, one of the other coaches. I'm like, great. That's great. You know, I love coaching, but I can't coach everybody.
Right. Well, that's a compliment to you as well.
Yeah.
I think because it, like you said, it comes down the tree. Like they're here because they learned from you. And
so I think that's probably one of my crowning achievements at this point is just, being fortunate enough to have people like you and others in my corner and, helping this business grow and thrive. So I think that's really, valuable, number one, but it's just great for me to see and great to experience every day here in the gym, seeing all of our people, have success and also the clients and the members and things like that. I think, other people's achievements definitely outshine my own in my eyes. Just because I want to help people as much as I possibly can, and enrich as many lives as I can. And that's one of the main reason I started this business is I want to have an impact on as many people as I possibly can. Right. And the new facility's cool and everything, but it's just a vessel. Yeah,
and you've said that from the beginning. So, even when we moved to the new spot, you're growing your ability. You're growing your vessel in order to expand the ability to help other people. Yeah.
So that's I'll leave crowning achievements at that.
That's a good deal. Well, I think it's one of the things too that especially on, in my mindset, me and what I say to my wife and my family and stuff all the time, like the guy I work for, I'd follow into battle. That's because you've built that culture of this is to help other people. And that's where I'm all about that. That's where I want to be too.
Yep.
So if I could be part of a team that we build to be able to do that, I'm all in.
All in, baby.
Good deal. So that kind of, the next thing we kind of asked, what are you most proud of? I think you kind of mixed the two there.
I think those are kind of intertwined.
So I think so we asked this one, how does exercise enhance your life? You talked about, because every time we ask somebody this, we also answer the question somewhat. But I think since we started this podcast, if you can even think that way or even transition to the move, has exercise changed, like the mentality of exercise in your life, the way that you exercise, has that changed at all in a way?
Yeah, it's very similar. Right now, so I'll just give you a little snippet of kind of where I'm at with exercise right now. And,
Deal.
Obviously doing things with business and in life that are, put a lot of, what most people would consider stress on them. Exercise is a way to, manage that and work through things in life. You know what I mean? It really does. It's kind of a little, I guess its own little micro world, so to speak. Right. Every time you hit the weights, and I think your mentality going into workouts, and just getting through them and not just getting through them, but thriving through them.
Nice. Yeah. I like that a lot.
It translates into how you manage other things in life. And I know that when I have a good, strong workout, that it enables me to, be strong in other areas, and it definitely gets my mind right. So like today, Chris Gethin, met up and filmed a leg workout for his YouTube channel and got some content. But it's filming for a YouTube channel because the world we live in is so content heavy right now. But and I'll speak a little bit for him on this, but for myself as well. Working out is not something that you just do to build content. It's something that you do to improve yourself.
Right.
And so I think working out for me is just all about self-improvement. It's the time of day that I focus on me. And it is in a physical sense, but it's also mental too.
Sure.
You know, I'm not a guy that's going to sit and meditate, you know, a lot. I got things to do, you know.
Yeah, your body needs to move.
Yeah, but, you know, that time to exercise, it's not that I'm saying that I don't need to meditate or nobody does, but that is my meditation time. And that depends on personality type too. I just know that about myself. But, you know, working out and the way that I view it right now is, you know, I'm trying to get better. So we talked about with Noonan in one of the earlier episodes that, you know, get 1% better every day.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's, you know, a lot of the win every day mentality out there right now. And, you know, I subscribe to that. But, you know, working out to me is about getting better. And it's not necessarily about getting bigger. It's not necessarily about getting stronger. It's about, you know, building up that toughness. And it's about not only strengthening your bones, your ligaments, tendons and muscles, it's strengthening your mind, you know, getting through that. And so, you know, there's nothing better than that. So crushing a good leg workout with a guy like Chris, we're both volume junkies, man. And, you know, I think we both like pain. You know, I think that, speaking for myself, you know, the harder and the more challenged I am with a workout, the better I feel. You know, it's about conquering, you know, big scary things, you know. And when you're working out with a guy like Chris or, you know, somebody that challenges you, you know, we're not looking at the amount of weight that we're lifting. We're just looking at, you know, being productive.
Yeah.
But we're also looking at, you know, building that resilience and adapting. And you're going to adapt to stress. So, you know, it's not like there's kind of a fine line, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to adapt when you're exercising, and that's why, you know, doing the different loads and the periodization and things like that is so important when it comes to, like, you know, getting stronger and you know, progressing the big three and powerlifting. Right. But at the same time, you know, the more hypertrophy oriented training, I mean, when Chris and I lift, we go above and beyond outside the realm of what most people do, in the sense of the intensity level is, you know, and I'm not trying to sound like arrogant or tough saying this. It's just a fact of the matter. Like, you're not going to find a higher intensity level with training than when he and I are lifting together. And that's because there's just that, and Caleb and I have talked about this too. It's just that unsaid and unwritten, you know, expectation really. And, you know, of pushing yourself to, you know, the limit in order to get better. Right. You know, we want to be productive in some way with workouts. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm not going to lie, sometimes when you're doing that, it can potentially be counterproductive in some way, tearing down muscle like that. And, you know, but the flip side to that is sometimes you just got to have that mentally, you know. Yeah, sometimes it's a therapy workout, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think, you know, you're going to get tougher, you're going to get better, you're going to get stronger, you might gain in some endurance, you might, you know, grow some fibers, but, you know, you're going to overcome those obstacles in your mind, and that's going to help you overcome things in life. So, you know, my training, I want it to be productive and effective. I still want to get bigger. I still want to get stronger. Sure. I'm always trying to improve, but I also, you know, I don't want to regress in any way. And, you know, if I can't get bigger and I can't get stronger, then I can sure as hell still get tougher. Yeah. So,
harder to kill. So, as someone that you trained with today.
That's kind of Chris's new thing, being harder to kill. And, you know, that's kind of a, you know, that's just kind of a symbol and a metaphor, just to, you know, essentially having that toughness, right? And being more resilient. I think that's very important.
It's a really underrated quality / thing to work on.
Yeah, you know, I think about what exercise has done for me recently is it's time for me to process what's going on in life, and it really helps recenter me, and get me thinking about the right things, you know, because there's a lot of noise, right? We've talked about that before. There's a lot of noise going on. There's a lot of things that cause anxiety and stress out there in the world. And, you know, getting good exercise in, whether that be cardio or lifting, is really going to help turn down that background noise and help you recenter and refocus on what's important.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a big part of what exercise has done for me recently.
I like that a lot. Great answer. Heck of an answer. With a lot of teaching stuff in there too. Personally, when I work out, I'm finding for some reason that the real priorities in life float to the top.
Yes.
And then you're mentally got the clarity. But that's just what you said anyway.
I 100% agree with that.
That's pretty cool. So this next one, you're gonna get one. You get one answer, but also checking out really quick. You said you had an hour the other day. When did you need to be done today?
I got 25.
25 more minutes, 25 more minutes.
Good.
Okay, good deal. So this one, what is a 2 to 5 year goal professionally? What is a 2 to 5 year goal personally? On that, one of each from you.
You know, I would say, you know, professionally, you know, I'll just leave it kind of ambiguous. I want to grow the business. That kind of goes without saying. I won't get into much detail there, but we've got some really exciting things coming.
Yeah.
That are going to be super impactful for all of our staff and for all of us in the community. We're working on some things right now that could be, you know, a real game changer for fitness in the Valley.
Love that.
But also, you know, fitness in general. So we're working on big things.
Yeah.
You know, right now, I guess some more short-term goals that I can be more specific on is just, you know, finishing what we started with this facility, getting the finishing touches put on, getting the damn plumbers to show up to fix our water fountains.
The details.
Getting the dang saunas delivered here. Yeah, it's like the little things. We're going to finish decorating, getting everybody's competition pictures up.
Yeah.
Things like that. So that's kind of short term. We're just going to put the finishing touches on things like this office, this conference room. Yeah, the goal is going to be, you know, we're going to be aggressively growing this business to thrive.
Yeah, aggressive understatement. That's the way to do it. Aggressively.
Yep. Personally,
yeah.
I mean, personally, my goals are to be a good husband, to be a good father, you know, just to create stability, for my wife and kids. I think that's, you know, stability is really important. So, you know, making sure any debts that we may have are paid off, things like that, the normal boring stuff.
Self-reliance.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously everybody's got financial goals.
Yep.
I've got those.
Yeah.
Those are kind of tied into business as well.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely have some of those concrete goals laid out that I want to work towards. And beyond that, yeah, I'm simple, man. You know, I've been very fortunate, in the fact that I have, you know, worked extremely hard, in the past, you know, several years, longer than that, since I've been working, that I've, you know, worked to, you know, create a good life for myself and my family. And I don't really require anything special. You know, I'm not a guy that, you know, I like stuff and everything, but that's not like, I wouldn't say that's a goal, you know.
Sure. Yes.
For me, there's just certain things that I want and need to be able to do the activities I like to do.
Right.
So, you know, I'd say eventually a goal would be, I want to have a place where, you know, a better place where I can keep my horses, you know, some basic things like that. But, you know, it's nothing. I don't have any goals that are outside of the normal American dream, I'd say.
There we go. I like that.
I'd say some goals that I do have, and it's not that I'm saying I have an interest in politics at all, but I think a lot of us with some of the things that have gone on in the past couple of years since COVID have been eye-opening in a sense of, you know, people like us need to get more involved in, you know, local things.
I've thought about that a ton in the last couple of years.
Local organizations, local politics. The thought of running for any sort of political office is absolutely nauseating to me.
Sure.
And I don't know that I can stomach that myself,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely want to be more involved in perpetuating the ideals that I feel like are the real American dream.
Yep.
And so I'd say a goal for me is to get more involved in the community, be more outspoken with what I feel is the right ideology, and just have influence in that way. So I would say that's a real goal of mine, is to just, you know, be able to use my voice and my resources in order to, in my experience, in order to make our community a better place and to make our world a better place. And I think that more good people need to be doing that. And I don't think a lot of people were interested in politics pre-COVID,
Mm-hmm.
because it's, you know, really not many big things had changed before that. You know,
Right.
we have, you know, whether it be, you know, Republican or Democrat or blah, blah, that's just a mess, right? We have different presidents from different parties and all that.
Right.
Coming and going, but really not a whole lot changed for us average Joe Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing what happened with COVID, we see, you know, what local policy really can do and how it can affect our lives. And so I think that I really want to be more involved with that, because I feel like it's important for those, you know, people in the community to just do that and not just sit back and let a small group of people make decisions that affect everybody. I think we all need to be more proactive in having a voice. So I'd say that's a big time goal for me.
That is a big time one, and I think an extreme, like, yeah. Anyway, I'd follow you into war. That's all I got to say.
Let's go.
So that was that really, and then we have some of those littler questions that we'll run through really quick before we end. Have your top 2 movies changed? Have you seen anything fresh?
No, I haven't seen anything fresh lately that I'm like absolutely in love with.
To be fair, COVID put freshness on hold for a little bit.
It did, yeah. No, it did. I named my dog Rip. That was from Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, the show.
Yeah, so we watched some of that recently. That's been good. Other than that, man, I don't know. Movies, I feel like an old person when it comes to movies now, just because I'm like, they just don't make them like they used to. But
that's true. I agree.
That's totally the case. I feel like, you know, comedies are never going to be better than Tommy Boy, you know?
No, there was a peak in comedy, and it was then.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think comedy died with Chris Farley.
You know what? It really could have.
I mean, now you got, you know, Will Smith up slapping Chris Rock on stage, man. I mean, what kind of a shit show is Hollywood right now?
Yo, it's a mess.
I mean,
well, then that Jim Carrey was like, he was saying something. We're not the cool club anymore. He's like,
dude, Hollywood never should have been the cool club.
No, I agree with you. No, there was what, the golden years of Hollywood or whatever, when it was like, what, the 1920s or something. But since then, it's just.
Dude, I don't know.
But it was different at that point.
I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway, we could go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still a Tarantino fan. I'm still a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah.
I'm still a Game of Thrones fan.
Right.
I'm still a Marvel fan.
That's film. That's story. That's the thing. Story is just taking a major hit, I feel like.
It has, but, you know, and I say I'm a Marvel fan, but, like, all of this woke nonsense that they're implementing into the just film industry it's
extremely unfortunate.
I'm not going to get into it, but
yeah, there's a rabbit hole.
It's depressing.
Good deal.
So yeah, I'm going to stick with my you know, Gladiator, Braveheart, 300.
Don't blame you there.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Updated books at all?
So that's maybe worth mentioning. So let's go to the books. I'll do an updated list of some things that I've read. So I I think I talked about this, A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl, about the concentration camps. It's a read. And I think that was recommended to us on this podcast.
Yes.
I read a good one. It's Rogue Warrior by Richard or Dick Marchenko.
Okay.
And he was basically the founder, he was the founder of SEAL Team 6.
Oh.
So I'm kind of like I didn't serve or anything in the military, but the, military themed stuff kind of fascinates me.
Yeah.
I do like history. I do like all the toys that go along with the military. So, I'm fortunate enough to have friends to be able to go and try out some of these fun toys like night vision and thermals and stuff like that.
Those are fun toys.
And so it's just fascinated me, like those elite special forces units. So that was cool. That dude's so the reason I read his book is he recently passed away.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, he seems like an interesting guy. And so a lot of people were posting online, like, rest in peace, this guy. And they mentioned how they read his book, and it was like it was influential for a lot of guys that went on to become, Green Berets or Rangers or SEALs or whatever. So I'm like, it'd be worth a read. And
for sure,
man, was it worth a read. It was crazy.
Rogue Warrior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so that was good. I read that. I finished that recently. Just entertainment,
Sure. Well, I'm sure you implemented some stuff into your life from it.
I don't know, man. They drink a lot. They smoked a lot. They were,
Well, you take the good with the bad.
Yeah, but I would say that they don't really make a whole lot of men like they did back then anymore. You find that out when you're like, man, those guys were just absolute tanks.
Yeah.
Like they're just units,
Units, right?
And it's not like the strength or anything. It's just like a lot of the things that they went through. Like he was a special forces in Vietnam essentially.
Okay, yeah.
And just some of the stuff that they did is just like, oh my gosh. It's so it's an interesting read. What else? I read The Meat Eater Guide to Wilderness Survival Skills by Steve Rinella. So he's the guy that does the Meat Eater show on Netflix. And I to be frank, I was already privy to most of the things in that book.
Okay.
Some of the things he talks about, like identifying mushrooms and stuff like that, was kind of interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm never gonna put myself in a situation to where I purposefully, anyway, that I have to eat mushrooms to survive.
That's fair.
Like, luckily I work out for a reason. I carry enough food and water to last me as long as it would take for me to hike out of where I am in trouble.
Where you might have to have the mushrooms.
Yeah. So that, but anyway, that was interesting. I'm still working on Why We Sleep, by Matt Walker. I read John Wooden's book, Wooden on Leadership.
Yeah.
I'm interested in reading Saban's book, just because different leaders are kind of fascinating to me.
That's the stuff I read the most, for sure.
Yep. The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko and Leif Blaben. It's good. There's a lot. I've read some. I continue to refresh on some of the more dry exercise science whatnots. Just recent
keep the brain sharp.
Recent research, things like that. I did reread Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, just because that's such a impactful book. But yeah, that's kind of where I've been at recently with reading. And to be honest, before I traveled to Texas a couple weeks ago, I hadn't read much at all. I kind of caught up on reading when I was there, which was nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's good. Sounds like a great recharge trip for you.
It was good.
Okay, one more. 3 people to have dinner with, dead or alive.
Oh, geez. Um,
I don't even know if this was asked to you at the first one.
yeah, I don't know, man. I think Elon would be a good one.
Gosh, what a fascinating guy.
Yeah, the more time goes by, the more I just want to talk to that guy.
He's so unapologetic, and it's fun to watch.
He's a character.
Character.
So, yeah, I mean, he just bought a 9% stake in Twitter for like $3 billion or something stupid like that. So, yeah, just the things that he's doing. I'd like to pick his brain about just, see more of like the way he thinks.
Yeah, right. And how he can compartmentalize the way he does. Yeah.
Yep.
His brain.
And I listened to quite a bit of Joe Rogan for a while there, just and I do periodically, mainly just when I travel for trips, like if I'm driving to, shows and whatnot.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, he's had some interesting guests. I think Joe Rogan's a super interesting dude. I don't know if he'd be one of my dinner choices, but I definitely would probably enjoy a conversation with that guy.
For sure.
But I don't know if he'd be on the top 3 list. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I would like to have a conversation with more so actually people that I strongly disagree with.
Hey, all right.
So
I don't know if we've had that on the podcast.
No, I don't think so. So like, people that I'm not going to name names just to kind of remain a little bit more neutral on this podcast, because it would fall more under the political spectrum. But there's been, decisions made and people that have been influential and had an extremely strong voice through some of the struggles we've had as a country in the past, let's just say 5 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
And man, it would be interesting to talk to some of those people.
It really would.
I'm definitely not opposed to, talking to people about conflicting views. And it would be more so an interview about, the way they think about things and discovering, motives and things like that. I'm always more interested in how an opposing team is operating compared to, somebody who's kind of on my side, because I can relate with and I can dissect how somebody thinks if they're coming to similar outcomes as I am.
Sure.
It's just more easy to put yourself in those people's shoes. But there's some people out there that, man, I just, I can't understand for the life of me why they would be pushing certain directions or for things that they feel are right. When I feel that they're wrong. And so I would actually love to have a dinner conversation with, 3 or more people that have opposite beliefs from me. Just so, maybe I'm not thinking about things correctly, or maybe I want to, seeing and hearing those opposing views, I want that chance to open my mind to something like that.
Yeah, because sometimes you just need somebody else to open it.
Yeah, and maybe that would change my my beliefs or opinions on some things. I think that's the scientific mindset that comes out in me. I am definitely strong in my beliefs, but nothing should ever be concrete unless it's like a hard fact, right? And a lot of things with, policy and decisions that are made are not based off of facts. They're based off of people's beliefs, which are, a lot of it's based off of opinion.
Right. I heard something about there's, like, you could have all, like, the facts or figures and everything thrown at you, but there's always got to be somebody or a small group of people who got to go off of their instincts.
Right.
At one point or another, even if it's a lot of stuff is based on the facts of whatever decision you're trying to make.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to have dinner with 3 people that I strongly disagree with.
Right.
And have them legitimately answer my question.
Exactly.
And not, and not be on camera and like, if we could all be hooked up to, a lie detector, right?
Yeah, that'd be great.
And have some questions and have it out, because it's curiosity is a lot of it. But
yeah, I've thought a lot about that too recently, just here at the gym, but also just in life. It's like just communication as a whole, but the aspect of, like, you gotta share what you're thinking and legitimately thinking.
Right.
if you want anything to happen.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of get sick of people, in the exercise and fitness world. Like, if you're talking about people like the Liver King or those dipshits that,
Right.
I call them dipshits, but like, that's the type of person that maybe we should be having dinner with and having those hard conversations.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too, is how are you ever going to influence somebody, if you don't have a chance to interact with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could teach somebody that has opposing viewpoints something, right?
Right. I mean, whatever you think about Lincoln, like this was one of the big things that he gets taught about was the fact that he brought his cabinet together about people from opposing views.
Right.
I think it's a huge leadership quality that you obviously have, and that I think is an attribute people need to.
Yeah, people, I think, whether it be politics or fitness or whatever, you kind of get put in a box and you're expected to follow that line, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's extremely close-minded.
It is. I mean, it's almost the definition of it.
It is. Yeah. I mean, it really is. And so that kind of drives me crazy in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's my answer.
I think it's a great answer.
I
like
like
that a
dinner
lot.
with 3 people that I kind of want to choke.
Yeah.
To give them an opportunity to not get choked. No, I'm just kidding.
Good deal. Good deal. I think we're coming to an end there, man. I appreciate you answering those questions. I think it was a great refresher, but obviously a way to kind of look back on the time since we've started.
Yeah. It's been fun. I had a great time.
Absolutely.
This week's been awesome. We've been getting stuff done around here. Thanks everybody for listening.
As always.
And submit questions, comments, like, share, subscribe, all that business. Get at us. Come check out the Mecca Gym 2.0, and we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us on the Power of Lifting podcast. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. For more content like this, follow Eric Cafferty and the Mecca Gym on all social media platforms.